Namaste and good morning. We are back again on our Sunday special Diamond Sutra study series, and today we're going to continue from chapter 6, I think 17 and 18. And before that, let's do what we are supposed to do, focus our mind so that we can control our thoughts. Okay, so practice our observing the breath from 9 to 0 in the reverse order. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so we are here to study the continuation of our series on the Vajrachedika Pragya Paramita Sutra as it is. This sutra is translated by Dhyanachira Nagajiva. Originally it was translated to Chinese from Sanskrit by Tripitaka Acharya Kumarajiv. The later from Chinese to English by Dhyanachara Nagajiv. Again, to remind everyone out here that this sutra, that when it was translated, the translator had no attempt at interpretation or explanation of the sutra. So there has been no attempt of explanation or interpretation of the sutra. This is very important because then only you can call it as it is. In the series until today, I think so we finished 8 episodes. In the 8 episodes, we have covered almost around 16 chapters, and today is the 9th episode. Every week we do 2 chapters of this 32 chapter series on the Diamond Sutra. If you all want to recap, we have the series, but today, since the 2 chapters are long and a little as we go deeper into understanding the heart of the Diamond Sutra, it is important that we spend more time on those 2 chapters. So without wasting time, we go on chapter 17. So I think everybody has the books here in the studio also. Chapter 17. Okay, so the chapter 17. It says, no dharma leads to anuttara samyak sambodhi. If you remember, the whole conversation of Diamond Sutra began at the time when Subhuti has already questioned Buddha that how a virtuous man or a virtuous woman can attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. That was his idea. So, for attaining that Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, how should he focus his mind and control his thoughts? The whole sutra is plotted around that, and then there is the conversation between Buddha and Subhuti to actually take us through the journey 2500 years ago, where this conversation was recorded at the very moment in word to word way by the monks who were sitting there, and then compiled and given us this sutra. So we are very lucky to get access to a 2500-year-old conversation between a great disciple Subhuti and the teacher Buddha himself. So now the chapter here is saying no dharma leads to Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Okay, let's understand. At the time, Subhuti asked the Buddha, Bhagavan, if a virtuous man and a virtuous woman aspire for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, how and why should they focus and control their mind? Now, after 17 chapters, we are coming back to the second chapter wherein Subhuti had asked, how should they control their thoughts and focus their mind? And now the question has changed, if you see. Now, what is Subhuti asking Buddha? Bhagavan, if a virtuous man and a virtuous woman aspire for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, how and why? Now here suddenly the why has come. First how and why should they focus and control their mind. Now very important. Now you see the word also has changed. First focus their mind and control their thoughts. Now here automatically the thoughts have gone. We have come to focus. They can focus there and control their mind, because suddenly we realize by this time that thoughts are non-different. There is nothing called thoughts. It's the mind that does everything. So if I get the mind to be focused, and if I'm able to control the mind, I'm able to control the thoughts also. How and why? The Buddha said to Subhuti, a virtuous man and a virtuous woman who aspire for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi should think like this. Okay, everything was a thought. It all started with thought. Now Buddha is teaching how should such a person think. He should think like this. I shall save all beings. You see, apply this in real life. Everybody wants to do something. Okay, what do they want to do? They want to achieve the highest state of everything they do. You want to play a game, you want to achieve the highest position in the game. You want to go for an exam, you want to achieve the highest marks in the exam. You want to go for earning money, you want to make the maximum money in the world. You want to do business, you want to be the most successful businessman. Everybody wants to reach the highest of the thing that they aim for. So a virtuous man and a virtuous woman means a person who is going to follow the Panchashil, who aspire for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, should think like this. I shall save all beings, means I shall save all beings. Because when you want to do something, if you want to pay for the country, you should only aspire that how will I make my country proud? How will I make all the Indians, if I represent an Indian cricket team, when I go and face the first ball, I just have to think that this game is not for me. It is for my country that I am representing. And I'm going to make sure that I am going to perform to the best of my ability so that I can make all Indians proud. So exactly, I shall save all beings, because a Buddha is basically born to save all beings. And one who aspires to travel the path of the Buddha and become a Buddha himself, he should understand that his quest, his desire that to achieve the highest of the highest realization shall begin with this. He has to think, I shall save all beings. Yet when all beings are liberated, means after saving all the beings, in actuality not a single being has been liberated. You see, after saving everybody, still you have not saved anybody. This is the thought that he should cultivate. Why is this so? Subhuti, if a bodhisattva attaches to self, people, beings or existence then he or she is not a bodhisattva. Definitely not. Because a bodhisattva is somebody who aspires to liberate every being. But once he starts realizing and getting attached to self, then people, beings, and or existence, then he is not a bodhisattva, true bodhisattva. Why is this so? Subhuti, there is actually no dharma to aspire for anuttara samyak sambodhi. So you cannot say there is a particular pattern or dharma that you can follow to aspire to achieve anuttara samyak sambodhi. Same thing, if you want to ask Sachin Tendulkar, the cricket player, or Messi, what is the secret to becoming the greatest player on the earth? He has no secret formula. He will not tell you that this is what you do and you become the greatest. They have realized it on their path through practice, dedication, all those things. Same is with everybody else. So there cannot be a formula for reaching the highest of the highest realization. One has to travel his own path. So very clearly he is saying, Subhuti, what do you think? When the Tathagata was with Dipankara Buddha, did he receive any dharma that led him to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi? So again, Buddha is questioning Subhuti. This art of questioning, somebody questions you, we have this habit of answering. Learn the art of these sutras. The sutras is Subhuti asked a question to the teacher. Now, teacher is not just giving answer and telling that is the end of thing. He is drilling him with questions. And if you look at the whole sutra, all 32 chapters is, I think so, one question from Subhuti, and I think so, all the questions henceforth are from Buddha himself. Only through questioning can you gain knowledge. So when somebody is trying to actually ask you a question, you should revert back and help him with questions and help him to get his own answer. Don't force your answers or your way on somebody. Let them experience it themselves, Very, very art. This art of communication is also the art of teaching. Many a times you go to schools and teachers are teaching children. They teach what they know, what is in the books. Never try to understand what queries children come up with. If queries come up from children, they just answer and that's it. The story ends there. There is never a conversation wherein a question leads to another question, another question leads to another question, and the whole questioning experience leads you to an experience. So very, very important. Subhuti, what do you think? When the Tathagata was with Dipankara Buddha, did he receive any dharma that led him to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi? So he's checking with Subhuti. Does he understand, that when Buddha was with Dipankara Buddha, the previous Buddha, and when he was under him, did he receive any dharma, any kind of a secret lesson through which, Buddha, the Sakyamuni Buddha, attained the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi? Subhuti says, no, Bhagavan. In my understanding, when you were with Dipankara Buddha, you did not receive any dharma that led you to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Very clear. Okay. So again, if you go to a player like Messi or like Sachin Tendulkar and ask them, when you were with your coach, did you receive something that made you Sachin Tendulkar or Messi? Technically, there is nothing like that happened. They were just guiding you. They were just allowing you to liberate yourself, you to experience yourself. Same. The Buddha said, you are right, Subhuti. There was no such dharma that led to the attainment of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Subhuti, if there was such a thing as dharma for the attainment of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi by the Tathagata, Dipankara Buddha would not have conferred upon me the prediction of attainment of Buddhahood with the name Sakyamuni. There is in actuality no such thing as the attainment of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. That is why Dipankara Buddha could confer the prediction of Buddhahood upon me, saying, you will attain Buddhahood in the next life with the name Sankyamuni. Very, very clear. There is no dharma that leads you to Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Because there is nothing like that one has to achieve, one continues his journey and process. Because he continues his process, The process itself will lead somebody to that particular stage of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. There is no dharma, there is no direct path. It's only and only experiential. So very, very clearly, even Dipankara Buddha could predict about Sakyamuni that in the next lifetime you will achieve the Buddhahood, and as Sakyamuni was because he has been serving millions of Buddha all so many years and so many lives, and he knew that if this process itself is going to become an outcome, the fruit of that process is going to be the Buddhahood that he is going to attain. So there is no fixed path, but when the journey itself, we know we've been continuing it for a long time, ultimately we know that this is going to happen. So we can sense somebody's dedication, contribution. We know that this person is already leading himself to success. One day, I cannot define what success, but he will be successful for sure. Why is this so? Because the meaning of the Tathagata is someone who knows all dharmas as they are. Okay, now here, why is this so? Because the meaning of the Tathagata is someone who knows all dharmas as they are. When you know all dharmas as they are, if you look at the things around and you see them as they are, you are basically a Tathagata. Tathagata means, Tatha means like exactly as it is. Gatha means to speak. When one speaks as it is, without adding his own experiential knowledge, his doubts, his excitement, anything, but gives information as it is, passes on his conversation as it is, the interaction is more realistic, the experience is more realistic. Hence, such a person who does this is called as the Tathagata. Subhuti, if someone says that the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, there is actually no such thing as Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi attained by Buddha. If somebody says that the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, then in actually there is no such thing as Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Because if it is to be attained, then there has to be a dharma. Because any dharma will manifest. And if it's going to manifest, this dharma can be duplicated and we can mass produce it and manifest anything. But that is not what it is here. So, if somebody says like that Buddha attained that through a dharma, no, it's not right. Subhuti, the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi attained by the Tathagata is neither real nor non-real or unreal. So he's saying that don't fix your idea that Buddha attained something, and don't even say that he did not attain something. It is not real, it is not unreal. Because actually reality and unreality are still experiential things. You still are, you're dividing it, you're making something to manifest. And if the essence of all manifestation has no manifestation itself at the base, you cannot predict or say that this is it. So the material that manifests cannot be unreal, cannot be real also, because only when it comes out we know what it is. So when you look at a mud the potter is making, by looking at the mud where he's putting his leg and churning them, and he's going to just prepare the clay so that he can make the pots, you cannot say now this clay is going to become a pot, because you don't know. When he's doing his act of making, maybe he's making something else, making his diya, small diya, something, whatever it is. So manifestation is something that happens, okay, but you cannot say that it is not there. So even manifestation is real and even unmanifestation is real. In my understanding, when you were with Dipankara Buddha, you did not receive any dharma that led you to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. So Subhuti is very clear about this. He's saying when you were with Dipankara Buddha, you did not receive any dharma that led you to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. The Buddha said, you are right, Subhuti. There was no such dharma that led to the attainment of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Subhuti, if there was such a thing as dharma for the attainment of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi by the Tathagata, Dipankara Buddha would not have conferred upon me the prediction of attainment of Buddhahood with his name Sakyamuni. Okay, so here again I am trying to tell you this because we have to understand the essence here is the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi is something that you cannot predict. Okay, it's a process that will happen, and when you look at things as it is, as they flower, as they blossom, as they come out, you see it as an experience at that very moment, in the now. Okay, so let's go back. Therefore, the Tathagata teaches that all dharmas are dharma of Buddha. So all the dharmas are the dharma of Buddha. Subhuti, so-called all dharmas are not all dharmas. Just by name they are called as dharmas. Now here goes the bouncer. First he says all the dharmas are Buddha dharma. Then he says the so-called all the dharmas that I am saying Buddha dharma are no dharma. Because again, if you fix your concepts and ideas with the tag of a name and then use that for everything else, then it becomes a problem. Now when you say, for example, let's say this is a, okay, I have a lamp, okay, this is a lamp. Now this is a burning lamp, okay, but this is an electronic lamp and I fix this as a lamp. Now I have said, okay, this is a lamp, this is an electronic lamp. If I turn this on, it blinks, it's a fantastic, beautiful lamp, and this lamp is used for all thing, but you can see it's nice, safe also. I can do lamp like this. Now I have given this name, I've given you the experience, everything. Now next time somebody gives you a lamp and that has a flame, a real flame, and you try to hold like this, the oil will spill, the flame will burn you, so many things can happen because you have now conceptualized this lamp with that lamp. You should not do that. That is why he's saying, even though I'm calling all dharmas a Buddha dharma, on one side they are only for the name's sake I'm calling them that, because in actuality there is no such dharma. Only by name I'm calling them all dharmas. Subhuti, remember the example of a large human body. So he is reminding him, in the previous chapters we were discussing on the large human body. Subhuti said, Bhagwan, the large human body that you have mentioned is not a large body. Just by name it is called a large body. So as Buddha explains something with an adjective, okay, once you have a noun with an adjective, you should realize that that adjective is nothing to do with the noun. It is only fixed to explain that. It has no independent existence. Something large is because at that moment everything else is smaller in comparison. But something bigger comes in front of it, it becomes smaller again. So even a large human body is only called as a large human body for the namesake. Subhuti, it is the same with the Bodhisattva. Now he is giving a comparison. That's the same with the Bodhisattva. If he says, I shall save numberless beings, then he is not a Bodhisattva. Okay. Once he puts in a figure and he starts saying, I shall save numberless beings, then he is not a Bodhisattva. Why is this so? Subhuti, there is actually no such dharma that leads one to Bodhisattvahood. So he is saying that suddenly somebody says that I am going to save all numberless, sentient beings. I am going to save everybody. Once he starts saying I and saying that, that means he has gained the confidence that he has got something with which he is going to change everything. That dharma that he is acquired is not going to be possible. So there cannot be such a dharma that can lead one to Bodhisattvahood. Therefore, I say that all phenomena, okay, have no self. You cannot separate yourself out. No self, no people. You cannot discriminate and separate them out from you. No being. You cannot say that this is this thing and that is that thing. Okay, and no existence is self. And don't say that this is existence and that doesn't exist. Everything that exists doesn't exist. Every being that you see, that you don't see, you people, all the people and no people, everybody, even the self that you see, you cannot be separated. It is all one, interconnected. This is where the interconnectedness comes. There cannot be one person or one thing that contributes to everything. There is always an interconnection of everything together that helps things to make possible. Subhuti, if a Bodhisattva says, I shall adorn Buddha lands, then this person is not a Bodhisattva. Again, if he says, I shall attain this, the pure land or the Buddha lands, then that person is not a Bodhisattva. Why is this so? What the Tathagata described as an adornment of Buddha lands is not adornment. Just by name it is called adornment. So again and again Buddha is reminding us, do not conceptualize, do not have fixed ideas, because fixed ideas is where everything starts getting taking you away from reality. Okay, many people have, as a psychotherapist, we see many of the mental illnesses people suffer from are because they are in a kind of a loop, a locked loop of self-identification to a particular experience, self-identification to a particular ideology, a concept, and that's where they keep on going, churning themselves in the same, you can say, the cycle of suffering, because they just don't know how to get out. Once you are free from all these concepts, when you're free from all the ideas, you have nothing, you actually are liberated. So this is again what he's teaching us again and again, that even though while he was teaching, he was talking about how a bodhisattva can adorn the Buddha lands. Then he's saying, just by name I'm calling that, don't just have that idea, okay, then now I'll become a bodhisattva, I'll go there. No, don't have that idea, because once you have that idea that you will do that, you're out. You're no more a bodhisattva. So once you start thinking that I want to attain Buddhahood, actually that is the time when you have gone out of the system of attaining Buddhahood. Once you start having the I, that separate feeling from existence itself, then you're gone. You're out of the whole game. Okay. Subhuti, if a bodhisattva realizes the selflessness of dharma, the Tathagata praises this person as a real bodhisattva. One who is selfless, who doesn't do things for himself, but considers his duty that he is the chosen one to perform all the skill sets that he has acquired to liberate people. That person is what Buddha says, and he praises them as a real bodhisattva. Here comes the essence. That means selfless service. Selfless service in your occupation, selfless service in your duty, selfless responsibilities that you need to fulfill. It should not be I. It should always be for them. And even after you have done all the things for them, never ever say that I did so many things, because once you say I, that is where there was the the self that was there, the attachment to self. Even saying that I did this is the end of things, so all your journey can end once you have the I born. Always remember, you're here with amazing skills, the ability that we can walk on two legs, communicate. We are in this human realm is a blessing itself. I have already explained to you how rare it is to be born in a human being realm, how rare it is to have all your senses working, how rare it is to have the ability to experience this world as it is, but how you are going to use this rare skill sets that you have acquired, the rare powers that you have acquired, not for you alone, but for the service that you are meant to. When you start doing that, you see the amazing result. Okay, that one who realizes the selfless nature of dharma, the Tathagata praises this person as a real bodhisattva. And if you look at bodhisattvas are not, suffering beings. They are the ones who end suffering. Now, suppose it is like somebody who's giving water to all the thirsty person. Think for yourself. Do you think he's going to be thirsty? Somebody who's going to create jobs for everybody. Do you think he's going to prepare his resume for a job? No. So you should understand your selfless nature actually is the point of liberation. Very, very important in the business aspect. So I would also take a short break to remind you all that we are also going to have a retreat that is coming up in Madhya Pradesh. This retreat is basically the Samatha Vipassana retreat, residential retreat. It's coming on the 16th, 17th, 18th. And the number is on the screen here. People who want to join this 3-day retreat can definitely join on the number that is on the screen. This basically is the first chapter of the Madhya Pradesh Shunya retreat that we are going to start, the Madhya Pradesh chapter of Shunya, organized by SIF Nagpur. So anybody interested can join. I'll be there personally to initiate and take the first retreat. Okay, so let's continue. Going on, the next chapter. Today's chapters are pretty intense chapters, but it also can help you to shatter all your illusions and concepts that you hold on to while interacting with the world. Many people want to go to see a beautiful place because they already have conceived the idea that it is beautiful. And then they go out and just verify the facts. Yeah, it is beautiful. Nobody goes and explores into the unknown saying that when I went there, I had no idea what it is. And then actually I found it was amazing. It was awful. That experience should be other way around, right? But people today, you see the marketing world is already making you gimmick that you take this lotion and you apply this and you become beautiful. The concept is already inside us. We have already bought into the idea that this lotion is going to make me beautiful. I buy it. And because I buy it, I see, now I have to verify, is it beautiful, not beautiful? That's it. But can I experience something as it is without being influenced or given a preconceived idea and concept about things? Can I experience life as it is? This is so important, because when you interact with the world, you're going to meet new people. If every time you are given a reference of somebody, especially in business, when we are handling so many people, people always give a reference saying that this person is this. They have already created an image, and then when we interact, we use that created image to verify whether what was told is right or wrong, whether what I read about him is right or wrong. And because of that, my most of the time of rather knowing him goes into verifying him. So I'm more policing him than building a relation. That is waste of time. So what we do in business is we don't do that. We do not allow anybody to put in any concepts in your mind about anything. We look at things as it is. So when a thing comes, at that moment, we are 100% interacting with that person to understand what exactly is he contributing, what exactly we want to tell. And that's how you build a relationship on reality, not on somebody's fantasy concept. So very, very important in building relationships. Otherwise, relationships go to a toss only and only because everybody has a concept in their mind. Everybody wants, for example, when you're young, you want to get married, the concept of having a husband like this and wife like this, if you don't get it, the journey of suffering begins. But if you let go of all that and you just experience life as it is, a partner who has come, I don't know how he is, what he is going to be like, but the journey is definitely going to be interesting, because the journey is all about knowing each other. Not that I know and then that is how you should act. It's I already want to know, and this whole day experiences, sometimes, you don't even, you get something that you never expected from your partner. But at that time, how many people take it in a good way? No, they keep on fighting and quarreling that this is what I expected and this is what you give me. Very, very important. So let's go to the next chapter, that is thought is not thought. How contradictory, every Buddhas, if you want to identify a Buddha, you should see they will be always contradicting themselves. Because if they fix themselves to one point of view, they are no more a Buddha. They will always have the right and the wrong, this and that, here and there. Everything, the two sides, they see the whole. They don't see only a part. Okay, it's like I read somewhere, when you look through a keyhole, okay, on a street, you can see things coming, okay, through that. So you think that something is coming in the keyhole, it's coming here and then going. You think it is coming and going. Technically, when you look from the top, everything is just moving as it is. There's no coming and going. It is just a process. It's the keyhole that makes you feel that something is coming inside the keyhole and going out. When you have a mindset of a keyhole, you only look at things in the past, present and future perspective. But if you let go of that keyhole mind and you look at things as it is with a broad perspective, you will never see things in terms of time as past, present and future. And one who does not see things in terms of time as past, present and future is already liberated from time. Because our existence is only time and space. If you get yourself out of time, you can actually get out of space also. So very, very important. So now going to thought is not thought. Subhuti, what do you think? Again, okay. Does the Tathagata have the physical eyes? He's asking, do you think the Tathagata has physical eyes? Yes, Bhagwan, the Tathagata has physical eyes. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata have the divine eyes? Yes, Bhagwan, the Tathagata has the divine eyes. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata have the wisdom eyes? Yes, Bhagwan, the Tathagata has wisdom eyes. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata have dharma eyes? Yes, Bhagwan, the Tathagata has dharma eyes. Subhuti, what do you think? Does the Tathagata have Buddha eyes? Yes, Bhagwan, the Tathagata has Buddha eyes. Subhuti, what do you think? For the sand grains in the Ganges river, does the Buddha call them sand grains? Yes, Bhagwan, the Tathagata calls them sand grains. Subhuti, what do you think? If each of the sand grains in the Ganges river represents a Ganges river, and each grain of sand in all these Ganges river represents a Buddha world, would not their number be great? Very great, Bhagwan. The Buddha said to Subhuti, the various thoughts of each of the beings dwelling in these Buddha worlds are clearly known to Buddha. Why is this so? Now again I'll read this sentence. The Buddha said to Subhuti, the various thoughts of each of the beings dwelling in these Buddha worlds, how many worlds? As numerous as the grains of the Ganges, are clearly known to the Buddha. Why is this so? All the thoughts are actually non-thoughts. Just by name they are called as thoughts. Why is this so? Because the past thought is unavailable, the present thought is unavailable, and the future thought is unavailable. Something that is not there in the past, something that is not there in the present, something that is not there in the future does not exist. And that is exactly what a thought is. And if one understands this, then you realize that thoughts are just something that happen to come. Like you cannot see, you go to the wave, you go to the ocean and look at the waves. The waves, they come, they go. The waves, they come and go. You cannot say that the waves are not there, but you cannot say that the waves are there too. It all depends on conditions and circumstances. Depending on the moon, the stage of the moon and the gravity and all those things, you see the waves can go higher or can be lower, can be calming down the sea or making the sea aggressive. Thoughts are just like waves, they come and go, but they cannot be existential. You cannot say they exist. You cannot catch a wave and say, this is the wave, I've caught this wave and I have this in my bucket. Have you ever tried taking the sea water in a bucket, trying to capture the wave, and then you look into the bucket, there is no wave. Then you again, but there is wave here. You go to the sea and filled another bucket, again it's not coming. The waves do not come like that. Similarly, the thoughts do not exist. Very, very clearly explained. They are not available in the past and the present. Now, this itself tells us that, I think that's the end, right, for the chapter. Okay, so all thoughts are actually non-thoughts. Remember this. Do not worry. Do not worry that, I'm thinking like this. You should not worry at all. That these thoughts, they don't exist. They are just indicators of what is happening around. That means when there is high tide in the sea and there are lots of thoughts coming, let's calm down. Let's practice Shunya. Because Shunya will calm down all your thoughts and bring you to a state of no thought. Worry, anxiety, and all these are built on the basis of thoughts that trouble one. If there are no thoughts that can trouble somebody, there is no way that anybody can suffer from any of the mental illnesses. And if you look at suffering, suffering is just mental. Actually, physically, there is no suffering. You look at any other species other than humans, they don't sit and talk about their worries about life. Even though a deer would have lost its calf eaten by a tiger or a lion, it just doesn't go sitting, destroying its life. It continues its journey again and again. Because it did feel bad at that moment, it tried its effort to save its baby. But if it could not, it just moved on, because that is how life is. You have to move on. Failure is not the end of your journey. Failure is just another stepping stone for you to move to the next level. Every success, don't stop there, because it's not the end. Because if you end at that point of success, that's where failure will start beginning. So you continue your journey every moment. Transform your role, your responsibility at different stages. When you are a kid, be the best kid, the most lovable kid, the kid that everybody wants to carry along. When you are a young boy, make sure you're so disciplined, so decent that everybody look at you and say, this is the boy, has a future. When you become an adult, you have a family, you have a responsibility, you have duties. make sure you do it to such an extent that everybody is so happy and peaceful around you. When you become old, make sure to give back to society whatever you were given with, the experience, the acquired skills that you had. Transform it, become a teacher. It's very unfortunate that in today's world, many people at the age of retirement, they think it's the end of life. They want to go and experience all the things that they never experienced. They want to travel around, they want to, when actually what is their stage is to give back to the society, become teachers, guides, guiding people. Because your experiential desires, that your sensual desires, even though you go and see another place, you eat another food and everything, that is going to go away with you. The only thing that will remain here on this earth as a mark of you is your teachings, your sharing of experience. If and everybody in his life does acquire certain skill sets, does acquire certain thing that he can teach, that means everybody is a teacher basically. He only needs to volunteer to teach. And if everybody does that, imagine how beautiful world we will have, wherein everybody understands that at the last phase of my life, the only thing I can give back is what I got. Was I got an opportunity, this opportunity gave me a skill set. This skill set I acquired to enhance it and pass it on so that the next generation takes it from there, not start over all over again. So the teachings of Buddha do remind us that it is a duty to teach, because Buddha spent all his life teaching, and it is a duty that we also all our life spend some time teaching. Teaching is a duty. The greatest dana, if you can give, is the dana of teaching. And teaching it doesn't take away anything from you. It will always give you something back, okay, when you have your students learning something from you. So definitely, this is what two things we learned today. Thought is not thought. And what we learned was that no dharma leads to anuttara samyak sambodhi. So two very important things. No dharma leads to anuttara samyak sambodhi. Success does not have a fixed path. Don't say that this person was successful because he did it this way. You can be successful in your own way. And no thoughts, basically do not worry. When thoughts disturb you, let go of the thoughts. How do you do that? There is a practice for this. And that practice is the practice of reverse counting, stilling the mind, observing the breath. When you keep on doing that, the whole mind settles down. And when the mind settles down, the thoughts automatically settle down. Remember where it all began, where he was said, how and why should they focus and control their mind? Why should they focus? Is so that the mind is controlled, is stabilized. How do you focus? Reverse count. Okay, so Shunya is the basis of all this. So this brings us to the end of the chapter 17th and 18th. Next week we will be coming together to discuss chapter 19 and 20. Okay, if you see, these lessons are something that you can apply in your life and make your life beautiful. On the other hand, it is also said that even if you don't understand a single line of it, okay, but you still do your duty of letting the ears listen, okay, and the brain perceive, that with time the same things that went into through your ears into your mind, they will blossom into wisdom when things are correct and the right time will come. So remember to just listen also will be good enough at any stage for you to begin your journey of liberation. So that brings us to the end. If there are any questions, Dhruv, you can pull them up. And also to remind you that in Pune, we are doing this Shunya meditation as a live session here. We have it in Balewadi, Pune, every day 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. live classes. We teach how to still the mind so that you can experience peace, and also focus the mind so that you can achieve prosperity. So do get in touch with the number that is shown on the screen, and if you are in Pune, you can join one of the batches. Okay, so this is the one studio that we are coming up, but in future we will have many more studios that will come up. So any questions, Dhruv?
he or she wants to become a Zen master in Shunya, then he or she is really called a Shunyati because in Dharma and Sutra the name Bodhisattva represents the Shunyati in Shunya. Is it right, Doctor?
Yeah, so now again, Saranya, to compare a Shunyati word with Bodhisattva, okay, is okay, but you should not do it exactly match everything. A Bodhisattva is one who's going to engage with the society to liberate the society. Right now, we are Shunyatis. We are just beginning. We are in the pre-primary section. We are just learning the jingles right now. We are just trying to prepare ourselves. The day we achieve the status of something like Dr. Lim, who can transform the world by contributing and giving opportunities of millions of people, then at that point we just begin a journey of Bodhisattva. So first and foremost is to become the tree on which everybody takes shelter. For that, the journey of the self begins. Okay, so you need to work on the self. That's why we have the whole practice. So somebody who wants to aspire to become a Zen master or a Bodhisattva or the highest in the order of Shunyati, he needs to follow the first is the BSV, the basic Samatha Vipassana. That means to have the ability to still the mind, to sit still, to endure, have patience. These qualities are something that you should have. Only with these qualities you can go out and engage with the world. Then you can still the world. You can make sure that the world can endure all those things. You can help them by giving something that you have acquired. So again, it all begins with you. Okay. Any other question? So no questions. So no questions here in the studio also? Okay. So with this we end the session, today's session. We see you next week again. Till then, namaste and thank you.
It was spread throughout India. पूरी दुनिया में ये spread होगा. When India started to practice Sunya, जब इंडिया ने practice करना शुरू कर दिया शून्य का, but the ancient Chinese describe Sunya as India. जैसे जो Chinese थे पुराने, उन्होंने इंडिया के बारे में कुछ बताया है. Simple, वो एक साधारण देश है. Elegance, लेकिन उसमें कुछ खूबसूरती है. Most important, majestic. और सबसे बड़ी चीज है महान है. तो ये है इंडिया, साधारण, खूबसूरत और महान.